Hello everyone. This is what we're going to create today using Adobe Illustrator. So let me compare the original file, which is this, and then this is the finished version. Okay, so this is the tutorial for the beginner level of Adobe Illustrator. And I know you are subscribing my channel already, but if you haven't yet, please subscribe and hit the like button. And let's get started. Okay, so before we start, I want you to know this. So this is the finished version. It's pretty clean, sharp, and crisp. And then, before we do that, we're going to create this first. So let me show you my layers. So the concept of this Illustrator document is, it is like that you are stacking the multiple layers from the bottom, excuse me, to the top. Okay. So from the bottom, so let me hide all layers. So bottom layer, I have original template file, which is a photo image you have. And then on the top, I have this dark sky and dark clouds on top of that, moon and stars, two mountain peaks, hill further way behind, and a hill up front, trees and more trees, bushes and the puddle, tent and the fire pit, and the text. So once you have all of these things, you see that there's no frame. Once it is done, then we can clean up using some type of a frame like this. Okay, so let me create a new file. This time I'm gonna use the inch unit and then 11 inch by 17, which is a tabloid size, and create it. So we have a new document. Okay, so first the layer. Please open layers panel. The layers, this first layer will have the template file you downloaded. So go to file, place it, and then it is on my desktop. I know that. Look at my desktop. Oh boy. Okay. Poster underscore template.jpg. Place it. See that? The thumbnail. I'm going to drag it to fit my paper. So it is slightly shorter than the 11 by 17, which is fine. Okay. So this is a template. I'm going to lock this layer. Okay. So as I showed you before, from my file, the first layer, which is going to be located on the bottom, and then that means I have to draw that dark sky that's way behind. Okay, so let me create a new layer by clicking this button, and then I will rename it as dark underscore sky, dark sky. Okay, so on this dark sky layer, let me choose my rectangle tool. Let me set my fill color to nothing, stroke color just a black. I'm gonna draw a little bit bigger, maybe about that size. Don't worry about that kind of the shape going beyond the border, because we're going to trim it later. So I have that. So you may choose any color you like, something similar to this. Or the easier way is use your eyedropper and sample the color. Just click somewhere. So I have that. See? And open the layers. Now I'm going to hide this layer temporarily. And let me open another, add new layer on top. This time this layer will have the cloud. So let me rename it as a clouds. This time we're gonna use a pen tool. Choose your pen tool. Set your fill color to nothing and stroke color just a black or any color. Okay, then I want to make them my cloud first, and as you can see that there are 4 clouds. I may draw 4 clouds one by one, or I can draw only one and then let me make a copy and rescale. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna zoom in, hold down the spacebar and command key and zooming in. See, it's a very useful keycap. Spacebar and command, and then I'm gonna trace this cloud. So the pen tool is a very useful tool. So let me start from here. So we're gonna draw a lot of curves and arch. The pen tool will take some time, but this is the best tool to draw in Illustrator, and also most of the graphic softwares have this same tool. So let me start from here. Click and release. Go to next point. Before you release it, just keep pressing your mouse button and drag it until your guideline matches to the cloud shape. Okay, and before you jump to the next point, as you can see that this straight line we call that handler, it blocks me. So we need to cut this out by clicking that anchor point I just created. It's gone. Go to next point, keep pressing and drag it. So as you do more graphics using this pen tool, you'll get used to it. Going next point, click, next point, drag it, cut, next point, drag it, cut, next point, cut, and make sure you are closing at the point where you began. And then you will see that kind of little tiny circle right next to your pen tool. And I'm closing it. So let me drag and release it. So my cloud is done, but it is not filled. See, just a black outline. Same way, I'm gonna use my eyedropper and let me sample this dark green, even darker green. Let me zoom out. Spacebar, command, option, and zoom out. With my regular selection tool, hold down the option so I can make a copy. Keep pressing mouse your button and drag. I want to make it bigger, so I'm holding down the option, place my mouse cursor on this corner, press your mouse button and shift key so I can keep the same proportion. So I have 2. One more here is gonna be even bigger, slightly bigger, and one more even bigger, like that. Okay, let me zoom out, open layers. So I'm done with these 2 layers, 1 and 2. Now I have a dark sky and darker clouds, and the next one is supposed to be moon and stars. So let me create a new layer on top. This time let me rename it as moon underscore stars. Okay, so first thing is I'm gonna draw a moon like this. So zooming in. Okay, then I'm gonna choose, set my fill color to nothing and just a stroke color in black, and let me choose ellipse tool, and then I'm placing my mouse cursor somewhere in the center. It doesn't have to be perfect, but visual center. And let me hold down the option, option, click, shift, and drag it. So it's pretty close. I'm happy. And let me fill with this moon color, choosing the eyedropper and click on that color so I can sample that color. So it looks okay. And then for this shading part, choose your circle, hold down the option, keep pressing your mouse button and drag it so I can have a copy of that. So I think it looks okay. So I have two circles, 1 and 2. Select both. In order to select the multiple object, you can drag it like this, or choose one and hold down the shift key, choose the second one. You can add the selection. Now, I need to open the Pathfinder. It is under Windows menu and Pathfinder. Okay, and then in your Pathfinder panel, the first button on the second row, which is the divide, just click on it. Nothing's happening, but something happened already. Then deselect, click somewhere else. Now switch your tool to this, the direct selection tool, which is white one, and hover your mouse cursor. See? Now you can select it piece by piece. Let me choose this piece and hit the delete key. Okay, and the shade part, select it. I just want to make it a little darker. So let me double click the foreground and the fill color palette from the toolbox. Double click and make it a little darker. And okay. See? So I'm done with my moon. Now stars. Star is even easier. Choose your drawing tool, keep pressing your mouse button and choose the star and click somewhere. I think this one should be okay. Maybe you may do this. Just enter this number. Okay, and numbers of points is going to be a 5. And okay, so I have a star. And with the eyedropper tool, I'm going to sample this yellow. Okay, so I have a 1 star. 1 here. Hold down the option and drag. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. Okay, I'm going to rotate it. Another one here, even smaller, and rotate it more. Another one here. I just keep pressing and dragging. That's what I'm doing now. And more copy. Hold down the option and drag. And another one here. When you move around to use the hand tool, hold down the space bar only. See? Then no matter what tool you're using, you can move around. This is a big time saver. Option, drag, make it a little bit bigger, option, drag, and option and drag. Okay, a little bit bigger. So I think, oh, there are 2 more. Option, drag, option, and drag. I'm gonna make this one even a little bit smaller. Okay. All right. So in layers, so this is what we have. Dark sky, darker clouds, and moon and stars. Okay, so let me hide all these 3. Next, I will need to draw these 2 mountain peaks. Okay. They look same, but just a different color. So what I'm gonna do is I'm making a new layer. Let me rename it as mountains, MTNS. Okay, and zooming in, spacebar and command. Set your fill color to nothing and stroke color just black. And then let me choose my pen tool I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Okay, so let me start from here. There, don't worry about that. We're going to cover up with some other graphics, so don't worry about it. And closing, see that? You have to see this little tiny circle right next to your pen tool. Okay, so this is done. Now I need to have this snow. Let me zooming in a little bit. Okay, so I will start from there. Oh, I'm sorry. I will start from here, somewhere from nowhere here. From here to next point, go to next, ding, next point, next, on that line, closing. See that little tiny circle next to your pen tool? Okay, then now select this one, and then we're gonna fill in white. So just white fill, but no stroke. For the big mountain, use your eyedropper tool and let me sample this color. So let me zoom out. See? So we have one mountain. Okay, so select both now. Option and copy by dragging like this. Okay, I'm going to place it just a little bit here aside because I want to sample this color, this mountain. So select your mountain, eyedropper, and sample this color. Now select this mountain and the snow together. Just place it there. So let me check my layers. See, we're getting in there. So I have one more, the mountains layer. Okay, so next thing is I need to have this kind of small hill right up front, in front of this mountains, and another hill. So let me make a new layer. I'm gonna make a small hill layer. Okay, now set your fill color to nothing and stroke color in black. Pen tool again. I'm gonna draw my hill, the small hill, by dragging just like that. Cut and closing. Always when you use a pen tool, when you make some type of a shape, make sure you have to see that little tiny circle right next to your pen tool. Okay, then I'm gonna sample that hill. So this one is done. Okay, it's not too bad. And then let me open my layers. I'm gonna draw another layer. This time it's gonna be big hill, the hill up front. Okay, so I will do the same thing. Let me zoom out a little bit like this, and no fill color and then any stroke color. And let me use my pen tool, starting from there, go to next point somewhere here. I'm going to have really smooth arch, kind of a curve like that. Okay, and cut, click, and close it, and sample this green. Okay, so we're getting in there. So let me reveal all the layers we have so far. See, we're getting close. Okay, now only thing left is the trees, tent, fire pit, bushes, water puddle, and then there's the text on top. The problem is that there are so many trees. We only need to draw one tree. And then we can make multiple copies and we can define the one tree as a little darker tree, another one as the kind of brighter tree. So let me make a new layer on top here. I'm gonna name it as trees. Okay, I'm gonna sample one of them. So let me target this one, this or that tree, or anything's fine. It doesn't matter. So let me zoom in. Let me use this one. It might be easier. Okay. So there are two tones. I'm gonna make this tree trunk even simpler than this. So the same thing. Let me choose this time no fill, just a black stroke, and pen tool. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna draw one kind of a little bit bigger shape like this. Okay, and just leave it. Now second one, so this shape will have this dark area, that a shade color of green. And then I'm gonna draw another one. This time I'm gonna start somewhere from here. Just follow what I'm doing, like this. And let me place my mouse cursor as an extension of this curve somewhere there, and keep pressing your mouse button and drag it like this until you have matched line like this. Okay, and cut and go there. Okay, I'm gonna put this aside here, and let me choose my first shape, this one, and by using my eyedropper tool, and let me sample this color. Okay, now choose my second shape with curve, eyedropper, and sample that color. Okay, next thing is I just need to draw the entire shape of this tree, except the tree trunk. So I'm gonna use my pen tool again, no fill, just a black stroke. So I will make it simple from there. Ding, 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 ding. And close it like this. Okay. Don't worry about the color. Now choose your tree shape, place it on top of that, like somewhere here. Okay. Now select everything. Select two shapes and the outline of your tree. So select everything, all three. As you can see that this tree shape is located on top. Then go to Object menu, Clipping Mask, and make it. So I have a tree. It is masking. That's cool. Okay, so I have one, but also I need to have a tree trunk. So let me draw a really simple tree trunk. Maybe about that size. Okay, I'm not gonna sample this color. Let me just fill my fill color. There's nothing yet. Open the swatches and choose a dark brown. And this tree trunk is supposed to go behind my tree. So select your tree trunk and Object menu, arrange it, and send to back. So I have a tree. So select everything. I'm going to group it so I can move that around as one group under Object menu and group. Yay, so I have one tree now, and I will keep using this one. Okay, so first the thing is, since I have one like this, but as you can see, there are more darker trees behind. See? So I'm going to start from that color first, the darker trees. So this time I need to change the color of this tree. So this dark green is supposed to be even darker, and that one is even darker. So now let me deselect it and choose my direct selection tool, this white arrow. Click on this dark area. Use your eyedropper and sample this dark green. Same way, select your brighter green, choose your eyedropper and sample that green. So I have one perfect tree for the background. See? So from now on, it's much easier now. Let me place there. I'm gonna make it smaller. Let me hold on the Option, click and Shift. Make it smaller, about this size. Copy and copy and copy. This could be a little bit bigger. And copy, maybe up smaller, about that size. That's good. And copy by holding down the Option and drag. Copy, copy again. One day I'll be done. And copy. This is supposed to be bigger. Okay, and copy, maybe even a little bit bigger, and that one's supposed to be smaller. I think I'm done with this, the dark trees. Okay, now I need to have the more trees up front. So let me make a copy one of them like this, and like we did, deselect. Now choose your direct selection tool. Sample and then select your dark shaded color using the eyedropper tool. Sample this color. Deselect with this direct selection tool. Select this area. I need to sample this brighter green. Okay. So these are for that, right? So let me make this bigger, way bigger. But as you can see that this tree is supposed to be up front. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move this one to the front. So select this tree, go to Object menu, arrange it, and bring to front. So it's on top. Okay. Now let me have more copies. Make it smaller. One goes here. Another one goes there. Make it slightly bigger, and another one even bigger. Maybe like that, maybe too big. Yeah, it is too big, but it doesn't matter. Like that. You stay there. Okay. And then Option and drag. Looks good. Another one here. Another one here. Okay. Another one. Smaller. And another one. Even smaller. And there are more trees. Make it smaller a little bit. This one is a little bigger, and the last tree about that size. Okay, so let's see what we have so far. Layers panel. Let me hide everything. So this is a template layer. I have that dark sky, darker clouds, moon and stars, mountains, small hill, big hill, and trees. So my template is completely covered by my vector graphics now. Okay, so next thing is I need to have these little bushes and the puddles. So let me create another new layer, rename it as bushes and puddle. Please rename your layer so you can tell which layer has which object. Okay, so let me zoom in on this new layer, new bushes layer. I'm going to zoom in and I will draw this bush as we did for this tree. Same way, same kind of a process. So let me choose my pen tool. No fill, just a black stroke. I'm going to draw kind of maybe something like this for this dark green area. Okay, and then with the pen tool, I'm going to draw another big shape, but the important part is this kind of a curve inside. So I will draw something like this. Cut. Next point. Cut. And next point, maybe like that. Cut. And it looks good. So two things. Let me put this aside. Now with the pen tool, let me draw the entire shape of this bush. Cut. Cut. So after creating any kind of a curve using pen tool, just cut the handler so you have more freedom. Okay. Draw it. Cut. Click and drag. Cut. So it's a routine. Click and drag. Cut. Click and drag. Cut. And closing. See that little tiny circle? Right. Okay, so we're almost there. Now select this color. I mean this rectangle, the first one. We're using my eyedropper tool. I'm gonna sample that color. Okay, and then the top one, eyedropper. Let me sample this color. And then let me select this, the shape, the outline of my bush, and place it somewhere. I guess maybe it is there. Maybe a little to the left. Okay, or a little up. Now select everything together like we did under object menu, clipping mask, and make it. So my bush is done. So I'm going to place here. There are two more, a little bit smaller than this. Option and drag. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. Maybe too small. Okay, and another one there. Okay. And next thing is we're gonna need to have these puddles. I don't know, it looks like puddle. So let me draw. Choose your rectangle tool. Draw just a rectangle like this. Okay, and sample the color. Fill color like this. Okay, now switch your tool to this direct selection tool. There you're going to see that little tiny circle on each point. Choose one of them, keep pressing and push in. We have a round. Okay, I'll do the same thing. So for now I have a correct fill color. Let me draw just one skinny rectangle, maybe about that size. You see that little tiny circle inside? Same thing. Keep pressing and drag it. Then let me just make a copy of this. Okay, I have this now. Let me zoom in. I'll do the same thing. One on top like that, rounded corner. Another one here, rounded corner. And just let me draw one rectangle or square, something like this. Okay. We need to have the rounded corner here too, but we can't now because there are 3 different pieces. So select all together. Open Pathfinder again. This Pathfinder is under Windows menu and Pathfinder. We used that once for the moon. And choose this time the first one on the top row, united as one shape. Then switch your tool to the direct selection tool, which is this white arrowhead, and then deselect it. Just to click this one, this right angle point here, this anchor point. Okay. Now hold down the Shift key. We're gonna add more selection, more anchor point, 2, 3, and 4. Now we see there are only 4 these little circles. Keep pressing one of them and drag it. So we have rounded and a smooth connection. Okay, so I've been zooming in a lot. So let me double click my hand tool. Then it will fit your illustration to this entire screen. So layers. Let's see what we have so far. Dark sky, darker clouds, moon and stars, mountains, small hill, big hill, trees, bushes, and puddle. We're almost there. Let me hide everything now. Next thing is the tent and the fire pit. Let me zoom in. Somewhere there. Okay. Now, create a new layer on top. This will be named as a tent. Oops. Tent. No, not tapped. Tent and fire pit. Fire. Okay, so from here, I will do the same thing using pen tool. So as you can see that I'm using pen tool a lot, very much. So choose your pen tool again, no fill, just a black stroke. I'm gonna zoom in a little more. I'm gonna draw this roof area first, like that. Keep pressing and drag it for the curve, and cut. Next, and I'm closing it like that. Okay, it looks okay. Okay, when you draw something small like this, normally what I do is I open my stroke option under Windows menu and stroke, and set your stroke weight kind of thinnest, lightest line, 0.25, so we can see more details. Okay, looks good. And select this. I'm gonna sample this light gray. Okay, now I'm gonna draw this front of this tent. Pen tool, no fill, just a black stroke. I'm going to start from here. Start from there. Go to that point and drag it. Click and drag. Cut. Click and drag. Like that. Click and drag. I'm sorry. And go to next point somewhere there and there, and I'm closing it. Okay, and this one's supposed to be white like this. Now I just need to add one more kind of side of this tent. Same thing. Pen tool, no fill, just a black stroke. I'm going to start from this corner there, go to click and closing, and use your eyedropper tool and sample the color. So we're getting in there. Okay. And there's post here. 1, 2, 3. So easiest way is set your fill color to nothing and stroke color just to black, and then open your stroke panel and maybe a 3-point stroke weights, meaning heavier, thicker line. Then choose your line tool from your toolbox. I'm gonna draw one simple line, maybe like that. And in your stroke option, choose the round cap. Okay, so I have one here. Hold down the option. You see that double arrowheads. Make a copy and rotate it. When you move your mouse cursor close to the point, you see that band shape, meaning you can rotate it like this. So I have one here and one more post. Okay. If you want to make it shorter, using this direct selection tool, select one anchor point and move it down, up and down. Okay. Now next thing is, you see that, remember, there was the opening, the entrance. So I need to do that. What I'm gonna do is select your front, the tent of this front portion. Then set your fill color to nothing, just temporarily, so I can see the template file. Okay, so same thing, pen tool again, no fill, just a black stroke, and then as you can see that there are two tones, one light green behind and one yellow up front. Okay, so that's what I'm gonna do. Let me select changing my stroke weight to thinnest line. I'm gonna draw from there, this gray first. Release, cut. We go to next point, somewhere there, drag it, cut, next point, and closing. Just leave it as it is. Now choose your pen tool again for the yellow. I'm gonna draw from there, going maybe somewhere like that. Curve, drag it, cut, next point, and closing it. Okay, so I'm gonna choose my eyedropper tool, the inner one, the small yellow one is selected, and sample the yellow. Okay, now light gray one, eyedropper, sample the gray. Then choose your front part of your tent and set your fill color, the fill color in white. Yay, so my tent is done. And the next thing is fire pit. I'll do that in here too. Same thing. Let me draw, there are two parts of fire, maybe a 3, but I will do just a 2. One big yellow and then one little bit smaller red. So use your pen tool. No fill, just a black stroke. I'm gonna set my stroke color again, 0.25, and let me start drawing from here. I'm gonna draw the big fire flame first, like that. Cut, go to next point, cut, like that, drag and cut, maybe here, maybe something like this, drag and cut, and there, drag and cut, drag and cut, drag and cut, getting in there, and I'm closing. You see that little tiny circle? And close it. So just leave it as it is. Now let me draw the inner, the smaller, the fire flame inside. So let me draw something like that. Here, there, and closing. Okay. So my inner fire flame, the smaller one, is selected, and choose eyedropper, sample the color, and the big one, eyedropper, sample the yellow. We're almost there. And then firewood on the bottom. The easier way is, let me try this. I'm gonna sample this brown first, and let me use my rectangular tool. I'm gonna draw one rectangle like that. Okay. Then using the eyedropper, sample this lighter brown, fill color, and choose your ellipse tool. Let me zoom in. I'm gonna place it in the middle of this side of this line. Keep pressing the Option, Shift, and click, and the Shift, and drag it until you have matched height like this. So I have one. Let me hold down the Option, click, Shift, and drag it so I can have another copy on the opposite side. Option, click, Shift, and one more in the middle. Okay, so let me zoom out a little bit. Okay, so but this firewood is supposed to go behind my fire flame. So select all this firewood and go to Object menu, arrange it, and send to back. It goes behind. I think we're almost there. So let me double click my hand tool to fit the window. Let me open my layers panel. Okay, from the bottom, sky, clouds, moon and stars, mountains, hill, another hill, trees, more trees, and bushes, and then tent and fire pit. So all illustrations done. We just need to have what is that? The text on top. So let me create another new layer on top. This is gonna be text layer, and let me hide all these layers so I can see it. Okay, so the text is the best summer camp. Okay, the best summer camp. So I'm gonna type. When you type it, just click and release. Do not drag it. Do not make a text box at this point. Just click and release. The best. Okay, your typographic choice is your choice. I'm gonna make it kind of a little bit similar typographic choices. The best. I'm gonna have white fill, white text. The best and summer camp. Not summer. Summer camp. Okay, but let me open character window, scroll all the way down, type and character. I'm gonna choose different typeface. I was using this with the Caviar Dreams. I don't know what it is, but it is kind of similar to that. So let me extend it a little bit. And also I want to change the paragraph option. Instead of this flush left, let me use the align center. And also I want to have a little more, the less spacing between these two lines, summer camp. So back to character panel. This is a leading, so it will control the space between between the line. So I want to have the less spacing. Okay, and I'm gonna extend it more. So I'm getting close. It doesn't have to be perfectly matched. Maybe like that. Summer camp. In white. Okay, now let's take a look. Let me reveal all the layers. See, it's not bad. It looks good. It is sharper. And since this is a vector graphics, it is free from the rescaling. We don't lose any quality. It's still sharp and crisp. See? Okay. Only thing left is, let me hide. This one has the really clean and nice rounded frame. But mine doesn't. We need to trim it. Easiest way is creating another new layer on top. Let me hide everything but template. I'm gonna draw no fill color, just a black stroke. I'm gonna draw a rectangle on a very top layer, just like this. Okay, and then as we did, you see the little tiny circle. Keep pressing and match the rounded corner like that. Okay. Now open your layers. Reveal all the layers, but hide your bottom layer, which is the template. So the top layer, I have that kind of a rectangle which I just drew. Now select all, Command A, or drag everything. Then go to Object menu, Clipping Mask, and make it. So it is sharp and clean. Vector graphics. So we're done. Okay, so I hope that I hope that I didn't miss any steps. But if you have any other questions, please leave a comment in my with any questions. Okay, so once you're done, now we're ready to save it. Save as maybe on summer underscore camp underscore poster. I'm gonna save it in my USB. Oh boy. Summer camp. Save it. And okay. All right. Oh, so one more thing. I forgot to mention. Let me unlock my bottom layer. And please open your window and open the links. You see that this is the template file we imported. But it is just linked to my desktop. So what you can do is embed the link, embed image. So then that image is now part of my file. Okay. So that's it. I hope that you enjoy this, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.